Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Adams Teaches Poetry. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the poem Presents from My Aunts in Pakistan by Moniza Alvi. This is going to take you through the basic content of the poem, along with some useful contextual information and some notes on form. So let's get started. So what is this poem about? This is another autobiographical poem, and it's describing a time in Alvi's life when she was a teenager, and she remembers the times when her aunties, who were still living out in Pakistan, would send her presents of traditional dress, including, in particular in this poem, a salwar kameez. And she recalls her sort of feelings of discomfort, and the discomfort surrounds the kind of ideas to do with cultural identity and not quite knowing where she fit in, whether she fit in the culture from back home, where she never really knew, she never really lived there, but then still kind of feels out of place in the UK. And the poem sort of goes through some memories of the clothing that she sent, and then talks about relationships with people from school and any kind of memories and knowledge that she has of her birthplace, Lahore in Pakistan. So this is the author, Moniza Alvi. She was born in 1954 in Lahore in Pakistan, but they moved to the UK when she was literally a few months old. So she has no kind of living memory of being there. Her mother was from England, so there's one of the reasons why there was a move to the country, and her father was from Pakistan. So it's his sisters that are living out in Pakistan that are sending her the presents. Now, during the poem, she talks about the knowledge she gains of the area through being an adult, and she references a fractured land, and she's referring to the Bangladesh Wars of 1971. Which shows you something about when she was writing the poem, or when she's obviously writing the poem after that and reflecting back. And she is dealing with kind of concepts to do with cultural identity, like a lot of the poets. If you're studying this as part of the Time and Place anthology for EdXL, a lot of the poets are kind of looking at the idea of cultural identity. So this works really well with Hurricane Hits England. Having a little look at the form, I've had to just take a little photo of the poem and pop it on here, so that because it's quite a long poem, as you can see. So the first thing that you will notice is, of course, it is in free verse. Yeah, there is clearly no specific metrical pattern or rhyme scheme here. But what's really interesting about this poem is the way that the lines are fragmented. Look at all of the different starting points and end points of the poem. It's sort of jarring, and I think this is really to do with the concept of cultural identity and that feeling of not quite sitting in the same place, or not quite sitting in the right place, whichever culture you look at. And I think that's really represented through the varied stanza length, the varied line length, and that fragmentation of lines. So that's a really quick win for form there. Like, that's easy to talk about. That's it from me. Another really quick video on context and form. Hopefully you made some good notes for your flashcards. Another video is coming your way with 5 key moments from the poem. I've got to stop saying 5 key quotes because I'm putting far too much on each slide. So tune in for that. Do subscribe if you haven't already, and then you'll get a notification of when it's ready. That's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me again. Happy revising.